just going to give you a bit of info about what we're doing today. Of what's going to be happening. So thanks for coming in. Like I said, my name's Sophia, and I'm going to be running the session with you today. Session's going to last about 60 minutes or so, and I can turn that off. So what we're going to be looking at today is we're going to be looking at some stuff on the phone. So we're looking at a new app. So I don't know how much you know about Onmo or how much you were told about it, but I'll give you a bit of a brief. So basically we are a credit card provider. We're looking to kind of branch into various different financial products. We also offer like an e-money account at the minute as well. I'm also looking to move into like a debit as well. And then, sorry, someone just can't read the thing. And then we are, our kind of ethos is about like kind of no nonsense, really clear, simple banking and kind of finances. So what we're going to look at today, like I said, we're going to be looking at some stuff in the app. So we've gone through a new rebrand. So we're looking at some of the branding and stuff like that. Oh, sorry. Nothing is wanting to work for me. But what we're looking at today is also still in development. So obviously some things might not work as you'd expect them to. But if that happens, just please let me know. As you go through today, I'd like you to tell me what you're thinking and feeling out loud. And it's a bit like talking to yourself, which may seem a little bit weird, but it just helps me help me understand what you're thinking and feeling as you go through it out. Both positive, negatives, all really, really important. Just really helps us understand like ways we can improve and kind of make this app better. Because if we don't design for real people, then it's never going to work. As I mentioned today, I'm the researcher, so I didn't design anything we're looking at today, so no one's going to get upset, so you can be as harsh as your criticism as you like. Very importantly, we're not testing you, we're testing the app, so you can't do anything wrong. Okay. So this is all very chilled. Free demo session at any time. We've got some people observing, so that's what I was trying to do. The link wasn't working, and by someone. This is mostly also just to help me with analysis going forward as well.
Okay.
Do you have any questions or anything?
No, not currently. Am I just gonna like be flicking through that?
Yeah. So I've got a couple scenarios for you. What I'll give you the scenarios and I'll ask you to do some tasks on the app and carry out some functions, the kind of normal functions that you would do on a banking app. I've just got a consent form for you to sign. Sorry, I just need to get it up here. Getting your details put in. There we go, and then me as well. So DocuSigns are. I've been doing this for a couple of days in a row. So, I think you're my last one.
Oh wow! Yeah.
So because we had a dropout earlier in the week, Okay, sorry, there we go. So if I could just get you to, I just need to come over here and sign it if that's okay.
Sure.
Just because I've all plugged in.
Yeah.
So, there we go. So it's just on DocuSign, so just your address and your email address in those two boxes. You might need to hit it. Yeah, there we go.
Mm.
And then if you hit start, just there, to the left. And then now hit next again, it's just taking you down, and then sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you adopt and sign. Perfect.
Yep.
All good.
Yeah.
Would you like a copy sent to you?
Yeah, I think that'd be good.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, what this covers is just basically like, you know, like GDPR, we cover you for that, obviously,
Yeah.
and then works both ways.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll email that to you now, so I'll just grab your email address. So when I need to sign the other side of it, so when I send that copy will be sent to your email address.
Sure.
Okay, perfect. And just... Okay, we're good. So just a couple questions to get started. So who do you currently hold credit cards with, and why did you select them?
Barclaycard and Capital One.
Barclaycard and Capital
Yeah.
One. Okay. And why did you select them?
I selected Barclaycard because I had a current account with just a standard current account with Barclays first. So I knew that they had a good track record, and they always have you these incentives with their credit card. For example, you know, for I think it's 24 months or 18 to 24 months, you have a no charge. You don't have to pay for any fees. So you need to put a minimum amount payment a month, but for a certain duration of time, you don't need to. You don't get any extra charges, or and they're quite good at communicating. Like when the payment is approaching.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they've just then generally got a very nice customer service.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. And for Capital One, that was through word of mouth. I always see the advertisements as well. When I go on to Credit Karma and ClearScore, I always see they pop up quite a lot of advertisements. So I was like, okay, they seem interesting, and I've spoken to family and friends, and they've my mother and my brother, they use Capital One.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's quite easy as well. The app's easy to use. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What's your understanding of how owning and using a credit card kind of affects you financially?
I know about how it impacts your credit score, and if depending on your credit score, that will enable you to acquire credit when you need to get a mortgage or you need to get a loan for various other things. So I think it's important so that you have a track record of how you are with money. It's a bit like your history, and it helps financial providers kind of know a bit more about you, because if you don't have a credit card, then no one can really tell if you're a reliable person to lend money to. Yeah.
Do you currently have any insurance products?
I don't at the moment, but when I do, so I've had obviously car insurance, I've had holiday insurance, my mobile phone insurance at a point in time, and when I did do that, I went through again Barclays. Yeah.
Okay. What about life insurance?
No, and with life insurance, there's so much things out there. I use Instagram and various other social media sites. You always see, because maybe it's my algorithm, but I tend to see so much different providers. I just don't know which one to pick. So it's kind of a bit holding off on it, because there's so much out there. It's so difficult to understand.
Yeah. So there's loads of different providers.
You definitely
don't really understand.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So what's your kind of understanding of life insurance?
I understand that. So you are given questions. You're given a questionnaire to determine how much you could be covered, or if you can actually be covered. But depending on your age, depending on your lifestyle habits and your actual health at that point in time, that will determine how much you're entitled to any at all. And I think, from what I understand, is in the event of say your death or something, you're entitled to funds. That can go towards your family, properties, and paying off debts.
Okay. Cool. So you obviously said that you've taken insurance out previously with Barclays. How would you feel about taking life insurance out with a credit card provider or bank?
I'm not sure I would do that, just because I don't really think that's their market.
What do you mean by that?
I feel like life insurance is I'll be quite skeptical, just because when I think about credit cards, I think solely just on sort of petty small things, but I think life insurance is just really big. I think I would want a company that's what they do, that's their niche, like life insurance company, as opposed to a credit card company.
Okay. So you want like a sole insurance provider?
Yeah.
How would you feel if you did this through a credit card and you dealt with a broker who then obviously, and then it was connected to, say, I'll use Aviva as an example. How would you feel about that process?
I think I'd be a bit more comfortable.
Okay.
I have to look more into it then. I think I'll be a bit more comfortable, because I would think it would be more thoroughly taken care of.
Okay.
So it's
insurance through a bank, but then it's also kind of underwritten by an insurance company.
Exactly, yeah.
How would you feel dealing with a broker?
I would be okay, but I'll definitely do my research on that. I wouldn't be so opposed to it.
How much would you expect to pay for life insurance a month?
I genuinely don't know, because I'm not too familiar how it all goes.
Yeah. If you were offered it for around £15 through a banking provider, how would you feel about that? £15 a month?
That sounds very attractive, actually. I would consider it if it was low and the gain was like big, great. £15 is not a lot of money. So yeah.
Okay.
I was kind of thinking a bit more than that, so I was like, yeah, no. Yeah.
If you're gonna give like a rough ballpark, what would you expect to pay?
I would expect usually to pay maybe like £30 to £50.
Okay. Fabulous. Okay, so I was working in a much smaller room yesterday, so I really leaning across. We're just gonna have a look at something on the phone now. So let me just get this up. This being nice and slow. So, as I said, also feel free to pick the phone up,
Sure.
it's fine, whatever's comfortable for you.
Yeah.
So as I said, we've obviously been going through a big rebrand, and part of that is obviously redesigning new credit cards. So want to get your view on some new card designs. So two variations of design. So if you swipe across the screen, you should be able to see the other one. So have a look at these two designs. Tell me what your preference is, what you think about both of them. Obviously, and you've got the credit and you've got the debit card, one on top of the other.
Yeah. It's weird because I actually don't like. So I like. It's okay if I don't have one completely.
No, of course, just tell me your
Yeah,
thoughts.
so I like the O, because obviously, as you said, Onmo, I like the O. But I like this design here, the first one here, this black, because it looks a bit more expensive. But I don't like the debit card version of it. It just seems like random rings, arcs coming out of the edges of the card. I feel like if it incorporated a different type of O, even if it was a bit like this, a bit like this one towards the edge. Oh, sorry. As there was the edge, I think it would look better.
So you mean as in you got the edges on the purple version?
Yeah, like the O. Yeah, I think that would look better. Because the debit card just doesn't look yeah, it doesn't look like O's. It just looks like rings, kind of like half rings, arcs. But yeah, I think the credit card from the card design A looks quite expensive.
Okay.
The card B design, I think it looks quite attractive in the sense that the color is a really very nice color, very nice color, and you don't really see cards like this at all, at all. So my Capital One card is quite dark, but this card is like this purple card design B is very bright. So I can't really decide on which one, but I would say if I had to decide, I would say card design B.
Okay.
Taking everything into consideration.
Everything into consideration. So
Yeah.
B is your preference, then A.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Sorry.
I should lock my arms. If we're going to look at that, how would you feel about that design?
Oh well. Yeah. This one looks. This one looks. Yeah. This one looks way more expensive.
Okay.
But I'm not sure about the writing.
What do you think it is?
I think it's trying to spell the word. I can't make sense of it. It just seems like kind of irrelevant or unnecessary.
What do you think it's trying to spell out?
I'm not gonna.
So that's fine. So what if I told you it said credit and debit?
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't have got that.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's very smart. I think if it had an advertisement or something,
Yeah, that's fine.
know, it would maybe make sense. But yeah, it doesn't really.
Yeah.
Not really clear at all.
Okay, fab. So we'll just go look at that. So that's not better to hear something. Phone didn't work. Figma loves to crash. Okay. Let's run that one. Yeah. Oh, okay. So I'd like you to imagine that you recently applied for an ONMO credit card.
Sure.
You all found the application, you get your card, you've been using it for some months. So you've got a credit and a debit card with ONMO. So you log on to view your account one day. So if you can log on for me. So have a look through the account, talk me through this page and kind of have an explore. It's an interactive prototype. So like I said, feel free to click around. You can't do anything wrong here. So
Okay, so if I've gone so it depends if I'm looking at my recent transactions. Yes, it's got the symbols, it's quite clear. Able to extend and look further than the day I'm actually on, so I can go down as far as June. It's quite clear. It's clear on money that was put in and money that's come out by the plus screen. Able to okay, this is good. I like this feature, being able to search for these transactions. So by just probably maybe putting in, see, British Airways. Yeah, so being able to search, that's quite cool. Especially if you know something, you know a recent transaction, you can't bother to go down and flick through. So balance.
So what's happening here? So what's happening on this page?
So this page is, I think it's giving you a kind of like a breakdown of everything in terms of like a whole overview of what. Yeah, I think it's giving a whole overview, which is good. Which is very good actually, because I have Monzo, and you do have a bit of you do have like a little you do have a bit of information about how much interest you've accumulated over that period of time. But I think this is really good actually. I think it's really good because it's got everything in one place.
Mm-hmm.
It already tells you on how much you're repaying, your repayments are, the interest you've incurred, and it tells you about penny transactions. So I think by just like a click of a button, you can find everything you need to find without having to like go to various other places to find out your repayments and everything like that.
Okay.
Okay, and I like this feature here actually, it's very nice. Sometimes I think when it comes to credit cards, especially when you have multiple and you have other things, direct debits going out, you know, Netflix and all these kind of things and bills, I think the fact that you can add it to your calendar is very, very good because you'll always remember and you won't fall victim of like missing a payment, which is very good. Very, very good.
What would you expect to happen when you selected?
I would expect to give you the option of using, if it's an Android or iOS software, it will go directly to the iCalendar also,
Okay.
and have you just confirm that you want to add it into like a reminder.
Okay.
I don't know if it would, but that's really good. Okay, and again, it shows you how much you're spending, which not a lot do that. You tend to have to kind of wait till the end of the month. And this seems like it's going to be in real time. I think one thing about credit cards that different to debit cards as well is like it can be a bit of a pain because it can take about a month for your actual figures to be reflective, the true figures to be reflective.
And what figure do you mean by that?
So here it says how much you spend in this period of time. That interest as well, because it might take sort of weeks for them to update it and say actually this is how much you spend, this is how much available credit. Your credit limit will always be there, but the credit limit and the spending sometimes can be off.
Okay. So how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel a bit more confident in it. Confident with my spending. Yeah.
Okay. So what's happening here?
Okay, this is giving you again. It's like an overview of what categories or what you're spending on what. Okay, I like the fact that you can look at it over weeks and months. It's good. ATM withdrawals, subscriptions, entertainment. Yeah, you can actually look at how much you're spending, what you're spending your money on, which I think is good. And I like the fact that you can look across various months prior. It's good. Oh.
So what are you thinking?
Even better. I was gonna say that was what I was gonna ask, if that what could be better is actually breakdown of actually what or actual services or companies that you're actually using, and it does. It actually tells you how much, and I think that's very important because sometimes you have like issues with these companies and you need to be able to find something very quickly as opposed to going back onto your the homepage, for example, and flicking through to see, well, this date, on this day, the direct debit was taken out, for example, on Spotify or Disney. You have to go down to that day, but if you just went onto your insights quickly and you went to the breakdown, you know that month is the month that usually the most recent month or something, or last 2 months. You can actually just click on it, look at the breakdown, and see actually this is £10 was given, so you can actually just confirm.
Okay, yeah.
With what was taken out, which is good. Yeah, this is really good. I like the fact that I really like this. This is debit card. I'm just making sure. Okay.
How do you find switching between the two?
Very good. It's easy. it's very easy. For example, I use Barclaycard, and that's fairly easy as well. It's just very much everything's straight away, kind of click of a button. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I like the fact that you can just transition straight away. Okay. Yeah, I feel like all cards need to have this anyway.
Okay.
The ability to freeze your cards, like be able to get it in reach very easily. Yeah, I think it's got like the rest of it. I feel like it's got standard. The things that standard to an app.
Okay.
For a card. Everything kind of looks like standard. I don't see anything other than what I've mentioned to be different.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of the rest of it's the same. Yeah. Yeah, I think it looks good.
Okay. We're gonna look up something. Sorry. A bit. No. We're gonna have a look at something a bit different now.
Sure.
So. Okay. So, I'd like you now to imagine that you receive an email from Onmo asking to ensure that your credit limit preferences are set up. So you log onto your Onmo app and you see the following. But before we do that, could I ask what your understanding of credit limit increases is?
Yeah, so I think whenever you initially open an account, you're given they give you a standard credit limit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think as time goes on, as time progresses, and they look at how your spending habits or your repayments are, you're able to get granted a limit increase.
Okay. So what's this notification telling you?
So you're saying that the person's entitled to having a limit increase. So they're entitled to it. And if they want more information, then they can select how they retrieve this information. I think maybe I suppose then the next kind of thing would probably be whether you want it by post, email, phone call.
Okay. So what would you do next?
I would view it.
So what's happening here?
Okay. So this is more how you want it to be increased. So I guess that's assuming that you already said you wanted to increase. Because I thought it was like they're going to give you more information about it.
Okay, so what do you think these options mean?
I think it means, basically I think it just means, if you want it or not, and whether you want it straight up or you want to kind of. So I think it was like I think it's like now they know you have access to it. So I think there's two options here, but then broken down further, you have either you don't want it, then you do want it.
Okay.
And if you do want it, do you want it now, or do you want it for when it's a rainy day when you want to request it?
Okay. So where do you think you'd find out more information
about it?
Yeah.
I think I'd have to select the first two first. So after that, I'll either select automatically apply or ask me first. I think after you select this one, I think it would just call it a day. I won't give any further information.
Okay. So feel free.
Okay, so I'll say automatically. Okay. So it doesn't go straight away. So you can play around with the buttons. So you'll be notified. So it gives you a bit more information before you going ahead. Okay. Okay, yeah. So it gives you a bit more information.
How do you feel about the information provided?
Um, I think a bit confusing because I initially said that I would have thought that it's already done the checks for you to apply, but now it sounds like they're just asking fishing whether you want it or not. It kind of seems like they're just asking if you want it or not. It makes me think they were just not trying to sell you it, but like they want you to actually search up, if like do a credit search to do it first. Like I thought it was more like they've been seeing how you've been spending and they're offering it to you. Now it seems like it's like a marketing thing to say, hey, go and search up if you can get an extension in your limit, and then if you are, then how would you want it in the future? How would you want to have it delivered to you?
So if you got an email paired with this, kind of explaining that you need to set your preferences,
Yeah,
how would that?
it depends. If it's initially when when I have my account, then yeah, that's fine. But if I've been using the credit card for a while,
So say this is within the first week of using your card.
yeah, absolutely. If it's the first week, then yeah.
Okay.
But then but I'll feel weird that I'll say, why are they trying to increase my credit limit so early in?
Okay.
I'll just
Yeah, no,
it's a bit weird to me because like surely from the jump they should have just increased the the limit. Sorry, and only to not know anything about no track record or anything, and then to offer credit limit increase the credit limit is a bit.
Okay, so if I was to tell you that this is basically how credit limits will be applied in the future, so say this is again first couple of days you've had using your account, how would you feel about the options now?
If if it comes into operation and that's the standard, I would always opt for always ask me first.
Okay. Yeah, so yeah, please proceed with your option.
Okay.
So always ask me first.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
which is good. I think that's like in that sense, being notified when you're eligible. I think that's good.
Okay. So months are passed.
Yeah.
Moves fast. So you get an email saying that you've got a notification in your app about a credit limit increase. So you log on to your app and you see this notification. So what is this telling you?
Yeah, you've I would say that there's likely a credit limit increase that's being proposed. So I want to look into it to see if it's how much it is. Okay, it's gone up.
So what do you think that is?
I'm not sure, you know.
Okay.
Maybe I'm just not with it in that type of thing. Straightforward, I think. In that this bit straightforward, I think. Giving you a bit of a note there, just came out, or a note.
What do you think that kind of note is telling you?
That, of course, in terms of like, it won't change how much you're paying, like the charges you're paying for it per month.
Okay.
And yeah, just make sure, just kind of letting you know that there's no like repercussions for this change. It's not going to be much of a big change so far as you continue doing what you're doing.
So how do you feel about seeing those kind of tips?
I think they're reassuring.
Okay.
When it comes to money, when people see, increase and stuff, especially during hardships as well, hard times. Obviously, quick to jump on this thing, but I think with these little sort of notes and stuff, I think they kind of help the customer.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think they're very useful. Even if it's just like sometimes you get the long kind of explanations, but this is quite quick and straight to the point. 2 sentences, 2 important things, I think,
Mhm.
which is good.
Okay. So what would you proceed with and why?
I'll go with this one because I know more about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you find that process?
Very quick. Very, very quick.
Okay. So I'd like you to imagine that you want to now have your credit limit increases automatically applied. So how do you think you would change this preference?
I think I'd go to my settings, manage my credit limit, and here, automatically, then change it.
Okay.
Like, it's quite easy.
Yeah.
And it's very quick as well.
So again, let's say more months pass and you get another credit limit increase, but also you've set to auto enrollment. Can you tell me what is happening with this notification?
Okay.
What's it telling you?
I think it's a bit like the same, a bit like the previous one. So it's saying that you potentially have an increase. So when I think about offer, I think increase anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You think you offer, you think increase.
Yeah.
Obviously, so I'm thinking that I potentially have an increase of my credit, and I mean, maybe have a look at it before it comes into action. So I would give you the offer.
Okay. So I'd like you to imagine that you're kind of nervous about taking a bigger increase because you're scared you won't be able to make your repayments.
Mm-hmm.
So you want a credit limit increase, but you don't want the whole offer amount. So what would you do?
If I don't want the whole amount, I would request a smaller amount,
Okay.
but a bit of an increase, but a smaller amount.
How would you do that?
I would play around a bit, probably think of this option,
Mm-hmm.
and because I wouldn't know what I was doing there, but because this option here has less than the amount, less than the 4,000, I would play about and assume that this is probably the option to maybe just plug in some numbers to. Oh, you can't.
So it's like this.
Okay,
So
yeah.
What kind of numbers would you be putting in?
Probably
Say for this instance, let's say your credit limit is £2,000 at the minute.
maybe 2.5 to 3, 2.5.
Okay, so you go kind of mid-range.
Yeah.
What's the highest you think you could put in that custom credit limit?
I'll say 3.
Okay.
1,000 more maximum.
Okay.
Guys.
So let's say you want to go with 3,000.
Mhm.
What would you do next?
I'll just continue. Where would you let this applied? Apply for low credit means you can apply for a higher for 4 months. What does that mean? So you can't apply for 4,000 for 4 months.
What do you think that means?
I think maybe that's a generic. I think that's a generic. I think that's more if you go lower than your original rather than the offer,
Okay.
the
So-
credit limit offer.
So you think? Sorry, can you repeat that one more time? So you think that?
I think because you know it's a custom, I think you can go as low as. Would you say you've paid off everything and you want to go down to like 1,000? I think it's more towards your actual initial credit limit than the new one.
Okay.
So do you know just what I mean?
So you think you can basically get a credit limit decrease using that?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's this page telling you?
So it's saying basically how you want this new offer to be implemented. It could be immediately for 8 days time. So I'll do immediately.
Okay.
Again, a simple confirm, done.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say you do want a credit limit decrease.
Yeah.
Could you show me how you would go about doing that?
I'll just presume again, manage. Oh, I forgot about this one. I must have been wrong then. Okay. So no, then I take it back then.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
I take it back.
Um,
So that means when they talk about you can't apply higher, it means it can't be higher than the new credit limit offer for 4 months. So if the credit limit offer was £4,000 and you opt for 2,005 or 3,000, you can't then opt for anything higher than that for 4 months. That makes sense now. Okay, yeah. Decrease the limit. I will type in the limit.
okay. So what would you do next?
Type in the limit. I'm guessing it would give me the option on the real app, isn't it, to edit and remove it down, or as far as 1,000. But see, for this purposes, there's 2,000 here, so I'll leave it as 2,000.
So if you press the button at the bottom.
Oh, I'm jumping. Okay. Okay, so you can change it.
So you want to decrease it to 1,000.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll just select it. Yeah, seems simple. I think it just takes a bit of. So there's not an option of when, which isn't great because I feel like you may want to. I mean, I guess it's immediately, but sometimes you just don't have the time. You know that maybe you're going to get paid at the end of the month, but you want to kind of decrease the amount. But I guess you can just do it. Let's click over a button. I guess it's fine.
How often do you think you could decrease and increase your credit limit?
I think probably every 1 in 3 months.
Okay. Okay. So, we're going to have a look at something a bit different now.
Sure.
Thank you. Very different sides of skills. We're going to look at this. So I want you to imagine that you just carried a transaction out with your Onmo credit card and you received this notification. So what is this notification telling you?
It's informing you that you've gone over. You bought something or you paid for something, you had a transaction and you've gone over, and they're giving you like an alert. Like, I would presume that the alert's probably midnight of that day to put it back to rectify your numbers to ensure that you don't get charged for it. So I think they'd give it to about midnight of that day. Yeah.
Okay. So let's say a day passes and you still get the notification. So what would you do?
And I still saw that notification.
You still saw the notification.
If they sent a new one.
Yeah.
They sent a new one.
Or you've got like a similar notification of the same sentiment.
I'd go onto the app as soon as
Okay.
possible.
So you should, if you. So what's happening here?
Your credit has been locked because it's over its limit. That's a bit harsh. Is this the second after the second notification?
Yeah. So let's say like a day has passed.
Okay. I think it's good then. There's not a lot of companies. Some companies allow you just to keep going and the charges keep flowing. So
So what are your thoughts on that?
that's good. I think it's sort of really prompting the customer to take action to fix it by locking it. I think when you do things like this, customers are more likely to respond and to ensure that they are fixing the problem.
So what else do you think Omno could do to stop this from happening?
I think they can see as they sent the most people that do go over tend to it tends not to be like a very large payment. Sometimes you see them sort of creeping into going over. So I think they could, as they did when it happened, I think they could send notifications to say, looking at your spending, you're edging towards this, don't want you to go over. Sort of via the app and potentially email or a text message. Maybe. Probably text message because emails people goes to junk and people don't follow it. But I think a text message would be good.
So what?
Yeah. And maybe every single time you come on the app as well, might be at the top of like a banner or something on top.
Okay. So what do you think it is that has tipped this account over the edge?
This is probably a bigger spend, maybe £200 or something. Maybe they bought something electronic or something. I don't know. But then to only be just over 200 makes me think that they possibly could have been, if they were like, they had to have been on the, like as I said before about notifying, they were only 200 over, so I feel like there was time to intervene, I think. Because if there was 200 over, what about when they were bang on the 4,000 before they got to 4,002?
Okay. So what would you do next?
I would want to see if I'm busy. I'm usually doing lots of things. I would know, why did this happen? Because I have multiple cards, credit cards. So I would say, want to click on why has this happened.
And what would you expect to happen when you select that?
I would expect the actual transaction that happened to be broken down or highlighted there.
Okay. So what would you do next after that?
I would go my credit breakdown to see. I can't really see. I've obviously seen I've got a late repayment fee, which is fine because obviously they said, as you said, the day went over and I didn't pay. But it doesn't really tell me. Doesn't really. Wait, what does it mean by for each overdue date? I'm not sure if that means. Yeah, it's a bit confusing. I don't know if it means OVP. Or maybe I've just been confused.com. It doesn't tell me the transaction that I'm looking for, which is the £200. Where did that come from? Yeah, I would just need to see what the £200.
Yeah.
I would just want to know what the £200 come from.
Okay.
Then I would make the payment.
Okay, so like if that's the sick test, then you know what the transaction is.
Okay. And I make the repayment.
you pay and why?
I'd pay the minimum amount
Okay, why so?
because I want my account to be unlocked. I don't think I don't know why the option for custom account is there. I mean, the whole purpose is to unlock the account and also, use it, continue to use it, resume use. So
you'd go minimum, sorry, to resume using it?
yeah, to use it. A custom, I think I only use custom if I'm experiencing very hard times. But I know that if I keep that money, I'll spend it. So it's like a bit of like a payment agreement, a virtual kind of payment agreement that you know you're going to pay. So if you pay 200 out of that there, you know you've got to pay another 156, 80. So I'll use that as like, okay, I'm going to come back to you.
Okay.
So only custom has to be hard times, really hard times. Minimum payment I'll pay because I want to start using my account again, and then the full balance I'd only use if I really just want to show that I can show that I'm a good customer and I want to pay everything back, because I understand that sometimes it can impact your actual credit rate, and then sometimes at the discretion of the bank if they want to kind of like alert that on your credit report.
So let's say for this instance you want to do customer mine, but I've taken a note of obviously you do minimum.
Yeah.
So you want to go ahead and
Customer.
pay a customer mine.
Okay. So I'll pay the 220.
So you just press keep out.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. So new balance. Yeah, you need to pay £250. Bit confused now.
Sorry, that is
a different. Yeah.
Spelling mistake. Sorry.
Okay. Good.
But that would reflect how much you needed to pay to make up your minimum payment.
Yeah. Sure.
So how do you feel about that?
It will tell what it tells. Yeah, I think.
So it would say obviously you need to pay another
156. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's good. Because again, as you said before, it makes you like you're working towards paying off the entire minimum amount. It's always important, I think, to, especially when it comes to debt or any type of money, to kind of like pay, like don't overwhelm yourself and pay. If you need to pay in increments, or you need to pay in like part pay, then part pay. You know. Yeah.
Okay. So you want to proceed with the customer mine?
So that. Okay. Okay. So you can never use your debit account. Yeah, it's good. I like the fact that you can use another external bank account. Because most places it just gives you the option of your, like for example, my Barclays card usually just gives you the option of your Barclays bank account.
Okay. So let's say you want to use your on-no debit card for this one.
Okay.
Oh, actually, wrong journey. Sorry, you want to use a new account.
Yes, and the Santander one.
So you want to use a new account, a account that you haven't used before.
Okay, that's good. You just be able to so you can add one in, and it's got the possibility to save it for later. Yeah, it's good. Okay, I think it's very straightforward.
Okay.
Very straightforward.
Okay. Just one final thing to look at. I'm just going to take us back to here. So you obviously have your debit account. So I just want to flow through some scenarios using your debit account. So I want you to imagine that you need to pay your friend for an installation for a holiday. So she's paid for the hotel and you need to pay her back. So using your on-no debit card, how would you go about doing that?
The debit card. I would transfer money.
Okay. well, yeah. So let's.
And just pick one of my friends.
So it's me that you're paying, Sophia.
Okay. Oh, just not here, but I'll say.
No, yeah, one Sophia.
Oh,
Sophia.
so that. Oh, it's like.
Yeah, I spelled it differently. Sorry. Yeah.
That's nice. Okay, so I'll say how much is it? $250.
Mhm.
And online purchase. I'll just reference it holiday. So she knows.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I'll just confirm payment. Send some family friends and paid. Okay. I like this again. This is good. Which is most apps have anyway.
Mhm.
Which is a little disclaimer about ensuring you're paying to someone you know. And yeah. Face ID as well. That's good. Another additional form of security.
Okay.
And now, like, yeah, you can show your receipt of payment. That's very good.
Mhm.
Very, very good. You can see send receipt of payment to the person receiving it. Just in case.
How would you use a feature like that?
I would just initially click on it,
Mhm.
and then I would hopefully on the iPhone it would draw up different various apps like iMessage and WhatsApp.
Okay.
And I'll select that one. Because I presume it would be a PDF type of form. So.
Okay. So I want you now to imagine that you need to pay your friend for a birthday present.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have their details, so they're a new payee because they recently changed their bank account. But you don't get paid until until a couple of days time. So you want to set up as a scheduled payment. So how would you do that?
I not know her details.
So let's say you got your details. You don't have them stored. I mean, so
okay.
so you've got them written down.
Okay. I'll go to my accounts again. I'll transfer money.
So you don't have you don't have this person's details.
I don't have the person's details. Oh, but I'll probably click on it anyway and then schedule. Oh, yeah.
So it's a new payee.
Oh right, sorry. Right. So transfer new payee. I don't have the person. I'll add them in now.
Yeah,
I've got
okay.
them. Add them in. Confirm payment and I'll schedule it. The amount £50. Present. Yeah.
Okay, so you want.
I'll schedule it to, let's say, to tomorrow, the next day, and then
Yes.
confirm date. Yeah. Confirm. Says her fans. Same. Yeah. Same. Very simple.
Okay.
It's
How
very
do you
simple.
find that process?
Very, very simple. I find it's nothing. I feel like anybody who's used. I think most again it's not standing out to me because most apps have this feature.
Yeah.
So for me, I feel like if you're somebody who's a newbie using mobile apps, it might be a bit tricky. But I think for the majority of people who use online banking or app banking,
Okay.
it'll be fine.
So now I want you to imagine that you need to set up a standing order to pay your flatmate rent.
Okay.
So how would you do this?
Okay, go to my accounts. Again, go on transfer money. My housemate's got a name.
Your housemate isn't on there, so.
Okay, I'll go new payee. Because I'll presume that, I'll assume that as I go through the steps to send money to a new payee, the option will come up to me to make this a standing order.
Okay.
But we'll see, let me see. So I've done all that. It doesn't.
What are you expecting to see here?
I've just from using previous apps. It's like, for example, Santander, my normal current debit account, Santander. When you the option when you get to this step, it usually says to you, do you want to make this? Do you want to pay it now, tomorrow, or it gives you option to make it a standard order.
Okay.
So I would go back because again it says one off. I think they should have another option, even as one off schedule or sign order or something like that, because that's that's the route you'll take to make a payment, to transfer the money over. For the steps through the initial transfer.
Sorry, you might just need to go across.
Okay.
Good journey, sorry. There you go. Right, there you
Yeah,
go.
I think that's like the most logical process. You want to transfer money, and then you want to make sure it's you want to create a standing order.
Is there anywhere else you think you could do this?
Pays. You say, oh yeah, you can't be pays because we don't know the pay. It's a new person. So maybe it's going to be manage account, manage standing orders, create a standing order.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So create reference.
So if you select the reference.
Okay, yeah, rent. Yeah. New payee. Full name. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So I guess settings will be also. I didn't think of that. But I would have gone there after.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's fine. Okay, perfect. That's all the scenarios I have for you today. Just a couple of questions just to wrap up. So how would you describe your overall experience with the app and the kind of various different scenarios we looked at today?
I think that the app is generally very easy to follow. So I don't think it's not too technical. Has a few perks to it, such as like the breakdowns of each transaction or group of transactions. I like the being able to search your transactions. That was quite good. And yeah, I liked when I got my head around it. I liked the whole third option, the custom credit option.
Oh, the custom repayment.
But again, when I actually understood it, it's common in many apps. So I think the custom credit wording can be changed a bit.
Are you talking about the custom credit increase?
The wording, because for many like for Barclaycard, I forgot the wording, but you have minimum, full balance, and other or some other amount that you want to pay, other amount rather than custom, because that's not very clear.
Okay.
What else was there? The design of the cards for the brighter colours with a bit of easy identification of the company Omno. Some of them seemed not very linked to it at all.
How did you find the overall brand? So like,
I found the brand. So for example, I found like the brand. It seemed like it was the colours were purple. The predominant colours were purple. So it made sense again for the card to be purple.
So what did you think of those colours?
Very nice. They're very nice. They're very different. I think different colours are quite attractive to people. Like it's a similar kind of concept to the Monzo in the bright orange colour. It's usually attractive to people. People like kind of bright colours and stuff. So I like that. I think the app. Sorry, can I just get back to that bit? I think the app, it's like it's a bit.
So if you hit the back button, you'll be able to get that.
Yeah, I think the app is a bit basic. But I guess basic can be good.
Okay.
It's got the hint of the purple. So that's nice.
If you could change one thing.
But sorry, just one more thing.
Sorry,
It looks unfinished.
Okay.
That's all. That's another thing.
Why so?
Because the font sometimes, and I don't know if it was on purpose, but it just looks a bit like a prototype.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're talking about the font, the colours on the
colours,
balance?
the colours on the balance. I think it should just all be kept purple.
Okay. So if you could change one thing about the app today, what would it be and why?
I would change. I would change the color. The whole I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't think I would change that much except from the actual the like, as I mentioned, the finished look was not really some of the wording can be a bit more like a bit more clearer.
Mhm.
Other than that, I think it's okay. I think it does the job. I think it's functional.
Okay, Fab. Do you have any questions for me before we finish up?
No, I think it's good. I think it's a
Yeah,
good app.
thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much for your time. So what will happen next is you get the incentive sent out today, but latest it'll be Friday morning.
Okay.
And that'll just go to your email that you give the recruiters, so
Okay.
you give to Kate, so you'll get that in your email. Okay, Bob.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was
There we
fun.
go.
I didn't expect it to be this fun.